Chairman Upton, thank you for joining us on Newsmax TV. Tell us, why are the gas prices so high, $4 a gallon, nearing $4 a gallon nationally, and whose fault is it?
Let's face it, it is a supply problem. There's no question about that. We get a third of our oil from the Gulf. We're already getting about 150,000 barrels a day less than were predicted only last September, October. You look at the Department of Energy's own trend lines, we know that between 2009 and 2012, we're going to be getting, because we've said no now, we've stopped everything really since the Gulf, since BP, we're going to get 450,000 barrels a day less in 12 than we got in 2009. Alaska, which provides about 10% of our oil, we're having a declining production there by about 10% a year. By saying no to Canada, and of course they're producing 4 million barrels a day from oil sand in Alberta, we want to build this pipeline, a Keystone pipeline, down to the lower 48. The State Department has said no. All of that, particularly with the turmoil, of course, that we've seen in the Middle East, we're in trouble. And these gas prices are going to only do one thing, and that is to continue to climb.
Are you concerned that the rise in gas prices, if it continues, could push us back into a double-dip recession?
Yeah, well, they're not going to stop where they are. I mean, I almost drove off the road earlier this week when I saw the Department of Energy was predicting that they would be only $3.88 for much of the summer. We're way over that now, and that's even before we get to the reformulated gas, which we're going to see be imposed on much of the country come Memorial Day. So we're looking, I think, to see gas prices go dramatically higher, and as long as we continue to say no to more exploration, we're in duck soup.
You're advancing a bill on what you're calling the HHS slush fund curb on Obamacare. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, in Obamacare, there are a whole number of things that were never authorized, never really singly appropriated. They're just there. They're really new entitlement programs that were part of the bill that the President signed. Never authorized, no oversight. In fact, you don't even have control over things like abortion and following the Hyde Act because, of course, they don't come through the normal labor HHS appropriation bill. So we're beginning now to defund those. And in fact, this week on the House floor, we've got legislation that is going to take some of the public health service stuff, which was, again, a Sebelius slush fund within Obamacare. We're going to take it out. We're just going to take it out. It's going to be a savings of almost $18 billion over the next 10 years.
Last question. What's next for the effort to prevent EPA from regulating greenhouse gases unilaterally?
Well, as you know, we had a bipartisan bill that moved through the House this last week, passed by nearly 80 votes, 80 or 90 votes in the House. In the Senate, even though it tied at 50-50, there were 64 senators who in one way said no, either a minimum of 2 years delay or a permanent delay like our bill did, H.R. 910. We've got to stop the EPA from regulating what they were unable to legislate. That's what our bill does. It doesn't change the Clean Air Act at all. There are still 188 pollutants that continue to be regulated. We're just saying the Congress didn't authorize you to regulate greenhouse gases. The economic impact we know is going to be tremendous, maybe even a loss of as many as 1.5 million jobs. We heard that from private testimony. And if you care about the planet, and we do, why do you want to shut down all these industries? Because, in fact, this will impose new burdens on every manufacturing sector of the United States. So whether it be glass or automobiles or appliances, you're going to raise those costs. Chances are a good number of those jobs are going to go someplace else, India or China, and let's face it, they don't have anywhere near the environmental regulations that we already have on the books, so we have to say enough is enough.
Great, thank you, Chairman Upton.
Great.